Hey everyone, welcome back to Going Gonzo. Today we're going to be keeping it simple by going over the 4 key steps to ketosis. Now these are the things that I stumbled on and I made mistakes with, so what I'm going to do is try to pass on my experiences so that you don't make the same mistakes that I made. Alright, the very first one. Forget everything you know about weight loss. Everything you ever learned, just try to forget everything. Don't worry about things. You don't want to pick things that, oh, well, this is low in fat, and this says it's sugar-free, and you know, this says it's healthy, and this says it's all natural. You're going to learn things over the course of these videos that I'm going to make, that a lot of that stuff is not true. A lot of companies can say whatever they want on the packaging, and it's just not true. So as we're forgetting everything that we've learned, here's some of the things that I want you to know. Step 2 would be cut out all the carbs and sugars. Now when you cut out all the carbs and sugars, I'm not talking about your leafy green vegetables and your crunchy green vegetables, because those are actually carbohydrates as well. And they're going to add some fiber to your diet, and they're going to help you with all your nutritional needs, or as far as their end of what they're going to do. So when you cut out the carbs, such as your breads, your rice, your potatoes, a lot of your starches, you're going to find that your weight loss will start to go down. Now, the reason for that weight loss is, in the beginning, which is what I'm experiencing right now, is a water weight. Now, carbohydrates will hold a lot of water. And when you start to lose all your depleted carbohydrates and all your glucose that's being stored in your body, you're going to lose a lot of water in the beginning. So you're going to get that big burst of energy or weight loss in the beginning of our plan here. But it's just water. In the beginning, you're going to experience some of these things from that from that depletion of carbohydrates and the sugars. But our whole goal of the ketosis part is that we never want to spike our blood sugar, because anytime we spike that blood sugar, we are going to start storing fat. And there's a lot of different things that can spike that blood sugar. For right now, we're just going to focus on the carbs and the sugars. So if you could keep all of the sugar out of your diet, if medically possible for you, then do this. Okay? If you definitely want to keep all those bad carbs out. You want to resist all that other stuff, even if it's tempting or anything. No pizzas, no other things like that, because eventually, and I promise you on this, you will stop craving these things. It takes a little while, but you will stop craving them. And the diet is hard in the beginning, and it's really taxing on your soul, but it will pay off. Okay, number 3 is eat more fat. Crazy, but that's what you have to do. You have to rely on knowing that when your body is switching over from that carbohydrate sugar kind of energy source, that you have to give it something else, and that something else is going to be fat. So let's focus on the meats. Don't always try to go with a lean cut meat like chicken. You're going to have to switch into some of the red meats that are going to be higher in fat. Now they have them in all different percentages. They're going to say, well, this is 99% lean, 80% lean, 95% lean. Go with one that's not that lean. You want some of the fat in your meat because, for one, that's the flavor of your meal, and 2, it's going to help you get into ketosis. Now, you're also going to be adding things like in the keto coffee that I suggested before. You're going to add MCT oil, which of course we know is an MCT. MCT means it's a medium chain triglyceride. And what that does is that goes straight into your blood system, straight to energy, bypasses the liver, doesn't turn into fat. So the whole misconception about how if you eat fat, you're going to get fat, it's gone, it's done. It's debunked, okay? They've never scientifically been able to prove this. And that's a thing that you really have to let sink in. You have to let that sink in. Okay, some of your other fats that you want to get in, you're talking about avocados, and you could add olive oil, and of course you could have your bacon. Make sure that it's uncured. You can have eggs, fried in butter. You could actually have butter again. Put real butter on your vegetables if that's what you like. There's so many ways of getting your fat in. The fat bombs or the smart bombs that I talked about. There's other versions of those fat bombs and smart bombs too. And we're going to go over a couple of those. We'll learn to make a couple of those. But there are some books out there that will actually help you find more recipes and things that you will like. But I tend to eat 2 or 3 of these fat bombs a day throughout the day, just so I know that I'm getting enough fat into my system. And it's going to be healthy fat, because the way I made them is I put all that fat that I wanted to put in there. Okay? You can't just rely on something that says, oh, this is super high in fat, because then a lot of times it's actually going to be, there's going to be other things that are added into there, carbohydrates and stuff like that. And you want to make sure you avoid them. The one side note I want to put in to make sure that you follow this is look at the labeling. If there's carbohydrates in the product you're wanting to buy, don't buy it. If there's sugar, I would say more than 1 gram, you want to avoid it. You want to just keep it away. The body cannot handle carbs and sugars while you're trying to get into ketosis. That's all it would take. Just a little bit of a creamer in your coffee to knock you right back out of ketosis, or knock you right off that edge where you're just about to get into ketosis. You really have to push your body to focus on getting it into the ketosis. And then once you're in there, it's just the same way. You have to struggle and fight to keep it in ketosis and to keep the body so that you can get fat adapted, which would mean that your body is now utilizing that fat for energy. And that is the overall goal of the ketogenic diet, or the keto diet, or the paleo diet, or the low carb, high fat diet. The last step on keeping it simple would be patient. This is one of the ones that really got me, because in the beginning I thought, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. How come it's not working? How come it's not going? Just be patient. It takes a little while for your body to get off of that craving and that its normal way of life. And the carbohydrates and the sugars. So the body is going to try to reject all that, but over those first couple weeks, it's going to work. It's going to get rid of them, and you're going to get into ketosis as long as you stick with what I'm saying here. You stick with these easy, simple instructions, the steps that I had to follow, the steps that I learned. And once you do it, you're in ketosis. And when you're in ketosis, that fat will start to disappear. And it kind of disappears pretty quick. Now, it's not an overnight thing, but as you're in ketosis, you're gonna notice within a couple weeks that certain things are working. Your face is thinning out. You're feeling thinner around your stomach. People may even say something. That's one of the ways that I didn't mention on ways to track your weight loss and your progress, but because you don't have much control of that. If somebody just openly says, "Hey, what are you doing? You're losing weight," it's going to motivate you. I guarantee it. It's going to get you happy. You're going to be looking forward to every day of this new plan. And as it works, and the results start to work, it's just going to get easier, and it's just going to keep getting easier and easier and easier. Really, the ketogenic diet, the only hard part is actually starting it for the first couple weeks and sticking with it. And when you do that, it's just going to keep working. Okay, well, I hope these 4 tips have helped you. And if you have any other questions, please comment them below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. Please like and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Thanks.